But Alan, man, it is great to meet you. By the way, the first thing I noticed here on your Instagram, when I went to your Instagram and I went into your MMA profile, you have got the most unique nickname I think I've ever heard of in mixed martial arts, the Chinese disappointment. Now,
Yeah.
I'm South Asian, that makes complete sense to me. But please explain to the folks at home what you mean by the Chinese disappointment, Alan.
Well, growing up, my parents really wanted me to pursue like a medical career. They were very hard on me when it came to academics and things like that. So I never was I just never was into it. And even though like I did fine in school, I didn't do as well as they wanted me to do. And then when I went to college, that's when I started training. And in college I was like, oh, okay, like this, I'm like getting pretty decent at this, like pretty fast. Like I want to start competing. But I'm not like, I'm still going to do school. Like I'm still going to get my degree. And, but my parents wanted me to go to med school and I didn't want to do that. So then when I graduated college and I told them I wasn't going to go to med school, they basically just cut off, like they just stopped talking to me for a little bit. And then, so I was like, all right, well, I'm just going to, like, if they're not going to talk to me, then I might as well just like go full in on MMA. So then leading up to my first fight, I was like, people were asking me like what my nickname. Actually, no. It was, I changed my Instagram name to the Chinese Disappointment. And then they were like, oh, what do you want your fight nickname to be? And I was like, oh, I might as well just make it the Chinese Disappointment. I didn't really like, a lot of people like kind of have like aggressive fight nicknames. And like, I was just like, dude, I'm just going to show what I can do when I fight. Like, I don't need a nickname to like prove anything. So I just like, as a joke, I was like, yeah, Chinese Disappointment. And I ran with it.
That's awesome, man. That's what's it? Have you ever had any kind of situations where an announcer's, kind of said the full name and they're almost like laughing halfway through?
So, yeah. Like where I fought before I moved to Hawaii was it was on the East Coast, and I fought in like Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and Ohio, and like predominantly white people, right? So like when I told like the ring announcers like we're in the back, and before every fight they ask like, oh, what's your nickname? What do you want us to announce you as? And I like with every single one I've told, they were like, we're not saying that. They're like, we're gonna get canceled. We're not saying that. And I was like, no, you have.
What's your name?
What?
But it's your name though. How could they?
So I was like, dude, just say it. I'm okay with it. Like if they try to cancel you, I'll tell them to fuck off. Like that's my nickname. But so they were like, all right, like as long as you're not like pranking us, like we'll say it. So then everyone always thought it was pretty funny. But I think my second fight, like in the video, like the ring announcer came up to my corner and they were like, wait, what's his we forgot to ask him for his ring name. And they like, you hear them tell him and he's like, is it really? And they're like, yeah. And he's like, oh, that's fucking awesome. All right, I'll give it a shot.
It's by far, honestly, I'm not even kidding. That's probably my top 10 favorite names of all time. I think it's brilliant, man. It's awesome, man.
I talked to Max, and Max told me he's like maybe in Hawaii don't do that because it's like predominantly Asians out here. Like it seems like Asian people might get more upset about that, but I don't know. We'll see. I'll decide the night of the fight.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah. So it's been 3 years since your last fight, Alan. It has been a little bit of a hiatus. I did want to discuss that with you as well. What what kind of caused the hiatus? I know the last one was in 2021. 3 years. How come?
So leading up to my last fight, I was like having a lot of neck issues and like nerve issues and stuff. And so I was like, all right, after this fight, I'm gonna go get an MRI on my neck. Like it's about time. Like I've been not taking care of it. And then I did, and they were like, yeah, you have like the spine of like a retired NFL lineman. Um,
What? How?
yeah, yeah. Uh, I think
But how?
I think like so. Um, I didn't train smart in the beginning. And but like I knew wrestling was a huge part of MMA, so I thought like the best way to get good at wrestling was just like throw myself to the wolves um and get good at it like that. And I like chose like huge people to like be my training partner. So like not only did I have like no wrestling experience, I was choosing people at like a high level who were also like heavyweights. So
Damn.
yeah, so like, and I was like, I had such an ego that like I thought like I would be like, all right, like I'm gonna take these guys down today, and I would just like spear my head through them as hard as I could when I would shoot, and it just like over time, like I was just doing like crazy damage to my neck. So um yeah, it just got worse over time, and yeah, so I think it's just that's where it started from. Oh, so then yeah, I got the MRI. They said my neck was destroyed, and then um after after I got the MRI, I was just like, even before all that, I had a whole bunch of mental health issues going on since like I was like 9. So I was already not the most stable person. So then I just decided to just become a degenerate like drug addict, and um had I had several like OD attempts. I was like in and out of the hospital. Like I had gotten arrested, and then I was like in and out of the mental hospital, and then like yeah. So after some years of just like destroying my body with drugs, I finally like when I got out of the mental hospital and rehab, once I finished up my rehab and my mental hospital, I decided I had nothing holding me back where I was living. I was basically just living out of my suitcase. And I just packed up and left for Hawaii.
Damn, that is
Here.
one hell of a story, man. And like, in terms of the 3 years, yeah, it took you to kind of get your body to what it is now.
Yeah.
What was that process like, man? Because as you said, you know, they said that your spine was like a retired NFL linebacker. How is it now?
I haven't gotten an MRI on it. But I talked to some people, and I know there's people that I train with that have like neck issues as well. And I actually talked to a guy on Instagram. He's in the UFC. He just beat Mickey Gall this past weekend.
God damn, Rahman something. I can't
Yeah,
remember his
yeah,
name
yeah.
now.
Yeah,
That guy, yeah.
yeah, I know his Instagram name. I don't remember his actual name, but I reached out to him because I read somewhere that he had the same neck condition that I have, if not worse, honestly. But
Yeah.
it's called cervical stenosis, and I talked to him, and he basically told me, yeah, it's manageable. You can still like do what you love. Like you just got to take care of it. It is degenerative, so like it's not gonna get like better, but you can like kind of like really like slow down the degeneration. But yeah, I talked to I out here I talked to this guy named Jack Fonderwhite. He runs a electro acupuncture like perfusion business where he helps people with nerve problems, he helps people with brain health. I got introduced to him through Max's social media. I think it was Max. Max posted him, and I reached out to him and messaged him, and he's been helping me out a lot for my nerve issues. And on top of that, I get a lot of physical therapy done. I like strengthening the muscles around it, basically just supporting the spine. I have people helping me out with that. So, yeah, as far as like my neck goes, like as far as symptoms, I'm good. I don't have the symptoms anymore. Like they come and go, but yeah, I feel great.
That's awesome to hear, man. That's the main thing. Now you obviously train at Technics Jiu-Jitsu, same gym as Max Holloway. I got to ask, man. I can't end this interview without asking, what's it like training with the man, the legend, man, Max Holloway?
It's amazing. It's like being around that kind of energy it's contagious. And everything he says, he has a way of getting you to absorb everything he says, like almost like instantly. His mindset is contagious. Everything about it, man, is just like, it's unreal. I didn't, even when I first moved to Hawaii, I didn't think to go there and check it out because I was just under the impression that that they were closing off the fight team, and like new people weren't going to be able to come in and train. So I just didn't even bother. But I trained. So I would go around the island training at different gyms, and then I met people that were friends with him and trained with him. I met this guy named Martin Day, who's been a longtime friend and training partner of Max. And he asked me one day, he was like, where have you been training? And I was like, I go wherever. Like, I'm not even like, I don't even have like aspirations to compete. I'm just training. So I like keep myself busy and fucking don't go down that path of darkness and drugs again. So yeah, I was like, I'm just going around. And he was like, well, go like come to like Technics fight team practice this Saturday. And I think that was when Max was about to fight Arnold Allen. And
oh damn, that's not that long ago,
Huh?
That wasn't even that long ago as well.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that long ago. So I was like, oh, sick. All right. And then from there, once I started training there, I was like, I'd already met Ryland, the head coach, and we had already been like kind of like in contact with each other. And I was like, hey, can I like just start training with you guys? And he was like, yeah. So
damn.
Here we are.
Did you feel like they let you in because they saw potential? I mean, they're not going to let anyone in, I'm assuming, no?
Yeah, I don't know. I never asked why. I mean, I'm like, I think so. I think maybe they saw potential. I don't know. I didn't question it. I'm the type of person who really lacks a lot of self-belief and confidence in myself. And I'm not like, I'm not afraid to admit that. I'm still self-aware. So I just, I never like, even when I was like training with them, I was like, dude, I don't know why, but fuck it. I'll just keep training, just keep getting better. Like, but I talked, eventually, Ivan Flores, the striking coach for our team, asked me one day, he was like, do you have any plans of fighting again? And I was like, honestly, like, I would be down to fight again. I just don't have any belief in myself or any confidence. And he was like, no, you're good. Like you definitely like should be pro, but let's just get you one more amateur fight, because it's been a few years, and like, yeah, let's get you going. If you want to fight, then like, let's fight. But every like since that day, I was like, oh, fuck it. I guess I am good. So then I just like, I got the ball rolling from there. So yeah.
Something that you said really interesting, and this is actually off the podcast. This is just through messaging. So you were talking about obviously Ilya Taporia. You know, he did a great job against Max. Unfortunately, I'm a big fan of Max, but you know, I have to give him props there. Like he did a good job. And you said, you know, what's really annoying? It's the fact that Ilya's the same age as me, and look how much he's accomplished. Now, what I would say to that is, have you ever heard of the phrase "comparison is the thief of joy"?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever struggled with that? Like you almost like see where you're at in your life, and you try and compare yourself to somebody else. I'm like, why am I like this person? Have you ever kind of had an ongoing struggle with that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I've had like several like incidents like that, but like dude, Ilya has lived in my head personally rent free since I was like 24, 25. Because then I saw because I saw he was in the UFC, and I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me! Like this, like what the fuck? And then I saw how good he was. I was like, and he's fucking really good. So then, yeah, I was like, man, like, what the fuck? Like, what am I doing? Like, I gotta like get the ball rolling. And then, even like when Ilya won this last fight, I like a big part of me was just like pissed off at myself. That like I spent all those years after my last fight. Like after my last fight, that like I was on my way to going pro after my last fight. You know, everything was going well. I had like all this hype around me, like in that region. And I just like threw it all away. And like that was my time to really capitalize on that and really get after it, really like chase what I've been wanting for a long time. And yeah, I just decided to wreck myself. And just I like during that time I was never in the gym. I didn't work out. I didn't do nothing. Though like like the only thing I would do is like I would like rip lines of coke and do a bunch of push-ups and like, you know, yeah, like
that's hilarious.
Like, yeah. I was like, bro, like, I was like, what the fuck? Like, I like get so down on myself and I'm like so pissed off at myself. And then, yeah, so that was like, I had to struggle with that for a few days after that fight where I was like getting on myself and not being good enough. And then even years ago, like, I remember I was like, I had a lot of like ups and downs throughout the years. And like even like halfway through my like during like my fight career, like when I was like fighting more regularly, I was still struggling with like drug issues and mental health problems and stuff like that. And I remember one night I was like out at a club and I was all like fucked up and on a bunch of shit. And I was looking around me at all these like drunk assholes and like all these, yeah, just everyone acting like a fucking idiot. All these like drunk assholes trying to get laid and all these, yeah, it was like, what the fuck am I doing here? And I look up at the big screen in the club and it's Max. After like they're showing like Max on the big screen, like winning the belt. And I was like, dude, that's what like I want to be the best. So what the fuck am I doing here? So I like seeing Max on the big screen after like beating Jose Aldo, I looked around at the club and all my friends and I just like didn't say anything. I just sprinted out the club and I just sprinted 4 miles home, like just like on one. So like, yeah, I'm definitely one to compare myself and I'm definitely one to let it like ruin me for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, I think you said something quite insightful as well. You said you didn't have that confidence, you know, when you're younger. And I think that does go a hell of a long way. And I'll kind of, again, I don't mean to compare, but like when you look at Ilya, I think he's great. I think he's skill-wise, he's top-notch. But do you know something that I think that makes him extra special? It's almost like that almost level of arrogance, but not arrogance, like that level of confidence. It's like that it's supreme confidence, man. And I feel like that is, that's key to a lot of fighters, man. Is that something you're still working on every single day? Just that confidence.
I mean, so I use mushrooms to kind of help me get to that level of confidence.
Yeah,
and
same.
yeah, great. It's if you
Yeah,
can
it's awesome.
harness it correctly, like it's great. And Yancy Medeiros is actually teammate of us, and like I consider him a pretty close friend of mine. And every time we hang out, he's super philosophical. He's always like, every time I hang out with him, I leave with a new lesson. And he's a huge advocate for mushrooms as medicine, and I've been using that to help me kind of alter my mindset, change my mindset, find this belief and confidence in myself. And it's been I think it's been working. Lately I've been feeling more and more confident just in life and in training overall. I used to have this for a long time, even when I was training, I didn't have any fights lined up. So when I would train, I would be like almost like too nice to people, because I was like for like being training around the people I'm training with, it's already like, whoa, like I don't belong here. And then it's like, oh, I don't want to like accidentally go too hard and then like have someone like Max or Yancey or like Martin Day, like I'll take it as like disrespect. So but like, yeah, I don't know, lately, just once I got this fight booked and I've been like working on my mindset and my self-belief, if I feel like I've just leveled up so much more. So
Definitely.
I'm
Especially
definitely
over 3 years.
Yeah. Especially after that, like I had lost like a lot of self-belief after my last fight. And it's not like I haven't lost. So it's not like I took a devastating loss and was like, oh, like I just after how much I ruined my body and how downhill I went, I had this like thought in my head that like I'm not ever going to be good enough. Like I've already done too much to myself. I'm just never going to get back there. Like my cardio is never going to be the same, none of that. And if anything, I've just gotten better now. So yeah, it's
Yeah,
a
that's
work in
awesome.
progress. I'm getting there.
So your opponent is Keith Birchland. How do you feel about your opponent? What do you think of him and his ability, and how do you feel like you match up?
So I actually called him out. So I was uh after like I think like the promoters were telling me it was a hard time getting me a fight. They couldn't find anybody to fight me. So I'm not going to sit here and say anybody was ducking me. Um, but they were having a hard time finding somebody, and I was like, I need a fight. And I've never been one to call people out, but I called out two people. I called out Keith Birchland and I called out another guy named Ricky Plunkett. Ricky Plunkett, I think, is like 8-0, 9-0, but he's been an amateur since like 2011. So I was like, what the fuck are you still doing in amateur? I was like, fuck it. I'll call this guy out. Like he should be pro level. So this will be a good test for me. No response from him. And then Keith Birchland answered and was like, yeah, I'm game. And from what I heard, that kid is always game to fight whoever, whenever, wherever. So I watched some of his fights. He fought one of the guys I trained with and beat him in the first round. And another guy I trained with beat Keith. So obviously he is beatable, but he's definitely a banger. He's a scrapper. Yeah, he's from what I've seen, he's one of those guys that when he fights, his goal is to take away your health. So I wanted that. I want that like test before I go pro. I want someone to really try and hurt me. Because if I go pro, it's not a fucking joke anymore. So
hey man, it's the hurt fucking business, isn't it, man? They're saying the hug business is the hurt business.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
I'm just what's the kind of goal in the next 5 years, Alan?
UFC.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Or Bellator, like one of those big promotions.
Yeah. Hey, you wouldn't be a disappointment anymore, would you?
No, I guess not.
What like, are you cool with your family now? I mean, you don't have to comment, but like, what's the situation now? Like, are you in a better place with your family now that you've trained it and they can see that you're taking it very seriously?
Yeah, no, I'm a very, very much an open book, so I'm willing to share. I'm willing to share whatever. I'm willing to share my struggles. I think it's important to share your struggles because if anyone else is going through a dark place, I want them to be able to hear these things, and I want them to know that there is light on the other side of the tunnel. So I'm very much an open book. But me and my family are very much cool. And I never thought we'd get there. But after I got, I think it was either after I got arrested or after like my third time getting out of the hospital, they found out. I think I don't know how they found out. They might have gotten a letter in the mail saying I got arrested. I'm not exactly sure what happened because like though that whole period of time, my mind was just like not there. So I don't like my brain just like was probably off the whole time. But they found out either way, and then they reached out to me, apologizing, and they found that I think they found out that I was getting in a whole bunch of shit. So they searched me up on Google to see if there was anything on me, and they found like my Tapology, they found like my fights and whatever. And like my dad called me, he was like trying to apologize to me and say that they were sorry for the way they raised me. And they and you don't really hear that from immigrant parents.
You don't, bro. You don't, man. Yeah. I'm South Asian, so I think the culture is somewhat similar. They're very proud, man. It's like you got this. I'm like, no, I didn't get this wrong.
Yeah, dude. I love my parents right now. I love them. They're amazing. And like so my dad was trying to apologize to me, and he even told me he was like I saw you're like undefeated as a fighter. Like I never thought you could win a fight. Like yeah, I mean I wasn't the most athletic kid growing up. And my parents were always just like, yeah, this kid's just gonna be a violinist or doctor. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
bro, I was gonna ask you because I used to play the violin myself, like back in the day. And I sucked. Yeah, I was not. I heard you play. You're fucking good, man. Like, would you get to the 8th grade or something?
No, dude, I was like 5 years old.
5 years old when you're playing it. But what grade did you get to?
I started when I was 5. I went from.
Oh, you basically completed everything, yeah.
Oh yeah. It got to the point where in high school I was I went to our I got into our New York State all-state orchestra. I got 3rd chair.
Damn.
And then like I qualified for the national orchestra too. Like I was always killing it. I was always killing it in that area. Like everyone in my school just knew me like as like, yo, this kid's sick at the violin. So like I definitely would, if I'm going to compare violin to MMA, like I would say or let's say jujitsu, right? Let's say jujitsu belts. I would say in the violin, I'm like basically a black belt.
With how many stripes? Because I know you're being humble now. With a red stripe?
No, not with the red stripe. I would, you know what? I would say I'm a brown belt that can beat a lot of black belts.
Oh wow, that's humble though, because you're
Yeah.
like, you basically completed violin.
I basically, I played the hardest pieces there are to play, and then when I got to college, I joined the orchestra in college, but like our orchestra conductor made me fall out of love with the violin. He just like he was annoying. He was mean to people in our orchestra, like, and then he wouldn't even make us play like pieces that we enjoyed. He would like compose his own pieces and make us play it. It's like, dude, are you trying to like flex your mixtape on us? Like, what are you doing?
Oh,
So
good.
I fell out of love, and then I just like just kept going with MMA, and yeah.
That's pretty awesome. So, this kind of gives my age away a little bit. The reason why I wanted to play the violin is because I wanted to play the opening strings from Cisco Thong Song. I don't even remember that. Do you know that song?
What is it?
Cisco Thong Song. Never heard of it.
Never heard of it. How do you?
You're gonna have to Google it after. That just shows you how old I am. This is we're talking about 1999. I was like, I was like 10 years old, and I was like, I want to learn how to play that. And I stopped playing because, do you remember? I don't know if you know. Is it staccato? You know when you've got to bounce the thing over the strings?
Yeah.
I couldn't be bothered to do that, man. I'm like, fuck. I'm finished, man.
Oh, that's hilarious.
You're probably thinking, what a sucky violinist, man. What a sucky.
Oh man. But
what do you do? What do you do outside of fighting then, man? Like, how do you unwind? Are you watching anything at the moment?
So it's fight week, so I can't really do much, right? I actually just before this I was watching 300. I don't know. I woke up this morning and I was like, you know what movie I haven't watched in a while is 300. So I was watching 300. But I coach MMA at the UFC gym. I do a lot of like private lessons. And I'm in an online course for computer science. I'm trying to get my computer science. Yeah, I'm trying to get my computer science certificate. Hopefully get a job in like the coding market, even though I heard it's not doing great, but I'll maybe hopefully get a work from home job or something. I don't know. But yeah, that's what I've been up to lately. I'm almost done with the class, so hopefully get that certificate soon.
Definitely, man. That's awesome to hear. What's your favorite music? What's your favorite music?
I'm a guy that gets my music from a lot of other people. So like I'll hear a song that I like and I'll add it to my playlist, right? So but let me see. I've been listening. I like Lil Wayne a lot. I like Lil Wayne a lot.
Legend.
Yeah. I'll listen to some Drake. I've been listening to a lot of reggae lately though, like Tribal Seeds, Collie Buds, Skillinja, Kanaka Fire, like yeah. But my music taste is very, very broad. So yeah.
Nice. What would you be coming out to for your entrance this week?
I have 2 songs in mind right now. And one is called Bad Man by Skillinja. And then
bro, stop it. That's a banger.
Right?
That is I love that.
Yeah, there's
you gotta come out to that.
I know, that's what I'm thinking. But there's that one.
Anything you say after that isn't gonna be that, but go ahead. What's next? What's the other one?
There's another song I've been really heavy on is Vampire by Tribal Seeds.
I've heard that song.
Listen to it whenever you have a chance, and then tell me which one you think.
Yeah, I'll give you the best option, man.
Yeah.
But look, Adam, it was fantastic you coming on the show. I really enjoyed it, man. Thanks for being so candid and kind of not just sharing about your martial arts journey, just your life. What's going on with you. and that's something that I really enjoy talking about. But Alan, man, look, the final word goes to you. Tell the folks where they can find you. Plug anything that you want to plug, and tell them where they can see you fight as well. Alan. Go ahead, man. That's your spotlight.
So find my my Instagram is Alan Zliu _96. And then my fight is gonna be, they're gonna be live streaming it on YouTube. If you type in I don't think they're gonna post a link, but it's very easy to find. If you type in on YouTube X1 MMA World Events Battle at the Barracks 5, the live stream will be there. So yeah, I hope everyone tunes in. Fucking reach out to me on Instagram, whoever wants to, and yeah, I'm excited to get this fucking show on the road.
Definitely, man. And you know what, Alan? We're gonna have you on multiple times, right up until you get to the road to the UFC, man. 100%.
Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah,
Thank
make
you so much
sure you guys stay tuned and follow Alan's journey. We'll put all the links below. But have a good one, Alan, man, and we'll speak soon, man.
Thank you, brother.